All right, guys, happy Monday. Patrick back here, streaming on all of the things. I'm going to be talking again about AI. Of course, I'm going to be talking about Q4. I have not gone into Instagram updates in a while, and we're way overdue for those because with Q4 coming, the fourth quarter, the biggest art selling time of the year, we need to know what the latest, greatest techniques are on Instagram. And so I haven't done any show and tell on that in a little while. Much to my chagrin. So I'm going to do some show and tell on that. So I want to start off with the AI announcement. And for those of you guys that have been watching the last couple of weeks, I've been talking about this with great enthusiasm, okay? Because I believe that AI and all that it portends from a software standpoint is going to make all of you guys way better, way faster, okay, at marketing and selling your art. And I want to do a little show and tell on this today. And then you guys can, if you want to get on the waiting list for this thing, well, let me just talk about it. So we're all huge computer nerds and tech nerds at this company. We've got a new developer on staff that is crazy talented. Like, this guy's just unbelievable. And so we've been cooking up our own version of AI. And you know, one of the raddest things, and it's called Art Helper AI. And by the way, if anybody wants on the early list, all you have to do is leave a comment, AHA, AHA, just type AHA, and I'll put you on the early list for this. But I want to show you guys what I'm talking about. And no, I'm not talking about, okay, AI to generate art for you. That is a hot button topic that I don't want any part of. But I want to show you this. So some of you guys loosely know that this feature is available, okay? You know, if you are a Chat GPT paid subscriber, okay, paid subscriber, and maybe the other ones do it too, but what it can do, okay, and I'll show you this very, very quickly, is you can give Chat GPT an image, and I've got one of my buddy Jonas photos. Hold on, I gotta grab this thing so I can type. And you can go, please write an image title and description for this image, right? And so you can type all of that into ChatGPT, and what it will do is it will analyze your image for you. It'll give you a title and write a description, right? And that alone is pretty awesome, right? You can also have it write social media updates and all of these various different things. But the idea here is, you, the artist, okay, is probably not a copywriter, or probably doesn't want to be, or at least a great many of you. And it is way better, okay, to start even with just something than to start with a blank page where you're just looking at your image and you're like, oh man, I have to title this and I have to give it a description. How am I going to do that? So that's really, really cool. But the problem with ChatGPT is it doesn't know who you are. It doesn't remember, it doesn't know what your voice is, okay? What style that you like to write in, what style of an artist. It doesn't have any additional information or context. And if you wanted it to output something that sounds like something you would say, or how you would actually describe something, you have to go ramming a bunch of context in there, and you have to pretty much be, you know, have a programmatic mind to be able to do all that. So we're essentially creating an app, and it's called Art Helper AI. And you're going to start hearing more and more and more about this, that is going to remember your voice, that is going to know who you are. It's going to understand what your artist statement is. It's going to have context on who you are, how you like to say things. And you're going to be able to upload like 20 images at a time. Say, give all of these an image description and write a website description for every single solitary one of them. We are then, okay, going to take what we know about really some of the best-selling art, what it has in the image description, and we're going to append your description with what we know about selling art online. And all of this is going to be done for you damn near instantaneously, and all saved in your back end. And then you can have it write social media updates for you and do a bunch of other stuff. So I'm really, really excited about launching this thing. So again, if you want to get on the wait list for this, you don't have to go to the website. You can just comment on Instagram or Facebook, AHA, AHA. If you do that, I'll send you a direct message on Instagram, or I'll send you a messenger message, and you can get on the wait list. Give me your email. And the second that this thing is ready for testing, we are going to email all of you and say, all right, get in here. tell us what you think, because there's so many different features that we can potentially add for this. Like, on the wish list is have it write Instagram updates, have it write your Instagram profile info. Please give me a 5 to 7 post image carousel on how you would describe this art, right? And have various different voices in there too. Yeah, we're really, really excited about this thing. And if you're a customer, you're going to get it automatically. So you don't have to worry about it if you're a customer. But even if you're not a customer, it's like it's our first shot at releasing a product, okay, that everybody can use, whether they're Art Storefront subscribers or not. And obviously there'll be some additional bells and whistles and this and that, for customers. But I'm really stoked on this, because again, like, you guys can't be spending your time wearing all the hats. Create the art, market the art, be great at descriptions, be great at selling it. Like, it's hard. It's just too many moving pieces, right? So really excited about that. Yeah, Azalea, the beta is pretty close actually. And so you guys, I'm just excited about it, because we haven't had a programmer like this on staff ever, for the most part. Or if we did, they weren't like unleashed on something that's like so cutting edge. So I'm just really excited about what it portends and what's coming up. So I want to shift gears now to Instagram. So I've got our buddy Mosseri pulled up, and I've done a couple episodes like this. I'm not sure how many of you guys have actually seen them, but Adam Mosseri is the head of Instagram. Does he have a title? I think it's like just the head of Instagram, or CEO of Instagram. I don't know. But he does a great job at telling us what exactly, okay, is going on Instagram that we need to be aware of and that we need to pay attention to. And I find that I really like his updates, because this guy plays it pretty straight. He does like a decent job of sort of balancing what he has to tell us as like, the corporate mouthpiece versus like what the actual stats that you need to pay attention to are. And this first one is great. So this pertains to marketing on Instagram, okay, and having to create covers for your reels, right? So when you do a reel or when you do a live broadcast, a lot of times you guys are like stressing over about like, oh, I've got to give this thing a thumbnail, and it's got to be a beautiful thumbnail, and I have to spend some time designing it. Maybe I have to go to Canva or do something else and then get it onto my phone. And essentially what he's saying here in this update is, they don't really make that big of a difference. So the only time, and I could show this if people are confused. Let's see if I can get his audio.
Mir's asking whether or not the cover photo matters when you create a reel on Instagram. And it does, but only on the margins. What a cover photo does is it makes it really clear what you're going to get when you tap on a reel. But you only tap on a reel.
When he says it does, but only on the margins, that means we can ignore it. We can ignore it, which is glorious, right? So that means you don't have to waste a bunch of time, okay? Especially if you don't have a ton of time, worrying about what is the thumbnail going to be for my reel, worrying about what is the thumbnail going to be for my live broadcast, because I know all of you guys are doing live broadcasts all the time, right? Yeah, right. I barely see any of you doing live broadcasts, and you all should be. They work. That's why I'm doing one right now. But anyway, you don't have to design a cover for them anymore, right? And so what he's essentially saying is the way that people consume reels is they're on the Reels tab and they're scrolling along with their fingers, right? And so the thumbnail means nothing. No one's even seeing the thumbnail. The only people that are seeing the thumbnail are the ones that are coming to your profile and looking at your feed. So can you still do them? Yes, you can. But I would way rather you take the time, okay, that it took you to design that cover for that reel, and instead spend the time going and doing another reel. Do 2 reels instead of worried about having to mess with the cover and going through that whole process. So you don't have to do that anymore, which is fantastic. It's great. It's time savings, which is why I love this guy's updates, because he always gives you the inside baseball. The next one that I saw that I really liked is carousels, and he's using this particular post of him and his family doing whatever they're doing. You can throw 20 images or videos into this thing now, up to 20. So for you photographers that take series of things, and you're a nature photographer and you're going to go shoot somewhere, for like a big session, and you have like 20 images out of it and some videos. Like, this is such an epic way, the fact that it's expanded to 20 images to be able to tell a story. And if you're not using carousels, the carousels right now are getting a ton of organic reach. You need to be using the carousels. They're a great way to storytell. And the fact that like this is opened up to 20 now, like you could legitimately put like a mini movie in here, right? It makes me realize that our AI app is going to have to expand to be able to make carousel posts for 20. So this was a really, really big update too. And I think more of you guys need to be using the carousel feature, right? For those of you guys that like do the in process on your paintings, like you could do 19 different in process paintings and then boom, the final reveal or whatever, right? And the fact that you can include the images and the stills, great way to market what you do, great way to talk about Q4, great way to cycle through your products, okay? Great way to just storytell in general. So I really think more of you guys need to be doing it. And the fact that it goes up to 20 images now is a huge, huge deal. What's this next one? Oh, okay, yeah. So this is a big one here, right? And understand, you know, I love this guy because if you read between the lines, you know exactly what he's saying. And what this guy's job is to keep us all on Instagram for a longer and longer time and don't leave. That is what this guy wants all of us doing, right? And so one of the most important signals, okay, that they are now measuring on Instagram is whether or not somebody saved or sent your post. And what he's saying here is that sends are way more important than saves. And the reason he's saying that, and I should say, here's his post, right? For those of you guys that don't know, if wow, some new thing just popped up. What is that? Add notes. Not now. I don't want to do notes. So if you click the paper airplane, that gives you the ability to send the post to someone, right? And if somebody does that, you're going to get more organic reach. And it makes sense, right? Because if you contemplate the differences between sending a post to someone and saving a post, what does saving a post mean? If you save a post, you're essentially saying, I'm going to come back and look at this at another time. Yeah, right. No one ever goes back and looks at them. Maybe some people do, but most don't. So over the years, there's been like a lot of people that have like, you know, prioritized the bookmarks. The bookmarking is a really, really good signal. And it still is a good signal. Okay. It's still someone saying this content is awesome. I want to keep it for later. And so it's helpful, but nowhere near as much as send, right? Because when you think about it, the default behavior on Instagram is like, if you send somebody something, they're going to be like, you know, they're going to immediately look at it and they're going to stay on the platform for a little bit longer. So it's now one of the strongest engagement signals that they have. So, you know, what can you guys do about it? Put a call to action in your reel. Say, hey, if you found this art valuable, could you send it to a friend and introduce me to someone new, right? Like put it in there as a call to action. Like I would be forever grateful if you sent this live broadcast that I'm doing to someone else, right? Like that's the rationale behind it. And it's a huge, huge signal for them. And you know, might as well listen to him say it and then I can parse whatever else he's saying. Hold on, I got to get the volume up. Say it.
Why do we prioritize sends instead of saves? Well, we actually do value both in ranking, but we focus more on sends primarily because our whole hope is to inspire creativity that brings people together. And if you save something, that's great, but it's usually something you do on your own. If you see a comedy bit that makes you laugh out loud and then you send it to a friend who you know is going to laugh just as hard as you did, that's a different type of connection. That is a social experience, not just a solo experience. And we're very focused on bringing people together. But saves matter too, so don't ignore those.
He's very focused on bringing people together. He couldn't give a good damn about bringing people together. If somebody sends somebody an Instagram post, it's going to their direct message box. They're going to open it and they're going to watch it and they're going to spend more time on the platform. That's why they're prioritizing it. You guys can win with this. Okay. And Arlene's asking me, is this for IG or Facebook? This is just for IG, what I'm talking about today here, Arlene. Yeah, but it's very, very good to know because you would be surprised if you just ask people to send it to a friend. People are going to do that for you, right? They're going to do that for you. And so we need to make this a massive aspect of our run up to Q4, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all of these big selling holidays. Like the greatest way you could reward me as an artist is if you sent this to a friend. Click the paper airplane below and send it to one friend and I'll forever love you. If you just include language like that in whatever you're creating, please guys, send this to somebody that you know loves whatever you do. Huge, huge impact, and it's going to drastically increase the organic reach of what you guys are doing. So wanted to lead with those things. Q4 is coming. You're going to hear me talking about it all week in, week out, all the way till the end of the year. Now is the time to start doing your marketing. Let people know you exist and getting ready for the biggest art selling times of the year. All right, guys. I'll see you on a future broadcast.